Well, why aren't you coming over here? Well, I know it's far, but it's not that far.
For this video, I decided to explore whether or not you could add a headcrab to your squad and ensure that the NPCs that are typically not friendly to headcrabs don't shoot them right away. So it took a little bit of playing with the AI relationships to try and get headcrabs and combine soldiers to cooperate. After that, I wanted to figure out if you could get a headcrab to follow you around the map and how you could get other NPCs to follow you around the map. It turns out there's something called AI goal follow, which TJ Dia mentioned on one of my earlier YouTube videos. TJ Dia was working on a Left 4 Dead mod and found that you could use AI goal follow to get NPCs to follow you. So I'm going to do a video on that next. This video uses triggers to try and get the headcrab to approach you. If you're enjoying this series on the Alyx Workshop tools, why not comment, subscribe, and like? I've got at least one more tutorial like this on AI goal follow to do. And then after that, I'm going to take all those components in the last 4 videos and put them into an existing map and try and get a combine squad to successfully follow through the map, including headcrabs on the squad, to clear the map of all enemy combine soldiers. So that should be a fun project, and when I'm done that, I'm going to release that as a mod so that anybody can give it a try. So thank you so much for watching, and without further ado, here's how you can make a friendly headcrab. I'd like to try and add a new entity to our team, but instead of adding a combine soldier, I'm going to add a headcrab and see if I can force the headcrab to cooperate with the combine soldiers and the player. I'm going to add in an armored headcrab because it might be a little more resistant to what's going on. I don't want the headcrab to die right away if something attacks it. And I'm going to name it Barney. I know it's getting weird, I'm starting to call everything Barney, but that's just so that I have a nice way to refer to all of the friendly players when I want a wild card. So this is going to be Barney C. I guess you could say Barney Crab. And I'm going to review all of my AI relationships just to make sure they all seem to make sense. Anything that starts with Barney is going to hate any manhacks. Anything that starts with Barney is going to like the player. So hopefully that causes the headcrab to like the player. Anything starting with Barney is going to hate all of the combine soldiers, not combine soldier class, but anything named combine soldiers, so all the enemies in this map. And you'll see that from the last video. That was my naming scheme for enemy combine soldiers. And here, anything with Barney is going to like anything else with the name Barney, and that's reciprocal. So hopefully that'll force the friendly combine soldiers to interact with the friendly headcrabs. Unfortunately, if you run it like this, what's going to happen is the combine soldiers are still going to attack the headcrab. And I think that's because the class hate between the two overrides the naming entities. So by default, NPC Combine S hates headcrab class. So I'm going to add one more AI relationship that's going to tell the NPC Combine S class to like the headcrab armored class. With that default AI relationship in place, I can then override it with the named entities. So even though by default the headcrabs and the combines are friends now, I can override that with the names by saying that anything named Barney is going to hate anything named combine soldier. So this one right here, the Barney and combine soldier relationship is going to override the class relationship. Now I could use reciprocal, but I happen to have another AI relationship way over here with the enemy combine soldiers, and that's just to keep things a little bit organized. So I'm keeping the AI relationships close to the things they apply to. But here you have combine soldiers hate anything that starts with Barney. Yesterday, Menanti mentioned on one of my videos that you can actually just set the build to build entities only if you've just changed the AI relationships or changed some of the logic, and it builds so much faster. Menanti, you have saved me an incredible amount of time. Thank you so much. This makes it so much quicker to test little tweaks.
Barney A and Barney B are not shooting at our new friend Headcrab, which is good. So it looks like those AI relationships are working as expected. If I head down to the Headcrab here, hey there, buddy. So our Headcrab's just kind of chilling here. He's making some noises, but I don't know if he's reacting to what I'm doing or if those are just some default random noises. Notice that the bounding box, the collision box around the Headcrab is actually pretty big. So I can't get very close to the Headcrab with my hand. I can get close to the mouth. Hey there. But you can't grab them. I don't know if there's a setting somewhere that allows you to grab them, but I can't grab this live Headcrab or move him or manipulate him in many ways. I can sort of pretend to pet him, and maybe I could kind of feed him. Hey, come here. Here you go. But he's completely docile, which is a good start. So now what I'm going to do is head across the trigger point and initiate the combat and see what the Headcrab does once combat starts. So here we go. He started walking. He's trying to figure out where to go next. Come on, buddy. Come on. Let's move up. There we go. He's definitely interested in what's going on. Hey, where are you going? So let's follow him around and see what he does. Oh. Well, he definitely didn't last very long. Let's try this again and see if we can actually protect our buddy the Headcrab. So listen, Barney A, Barney B, protect the Headcrab. I want to see what happens.
The Headcrab is obviously not very resilient even with the armor, but this does demonstrate that he's working with the squad and the squad isn't attacking him, so it's a step in the right direction. Next, what I'm going to do is figure out how to tell both the Combine soldiers and the Headcrab to follow the player around even if they aren't in combat. This is going to make it possible to move through a map in Half-Life with your squad behind you and get the squad to keep up with you as you go. I'm going to start with just getting the Headcrab to follow without any enemies on the map so it doesn't get confused going from idle to combat to alert. I'm going to leverage these AI scripted entities, and these should allow me to set Barney to do some action once it triggers. So we're going to change the target NPC to Barney C, and I'm going to rename it something that makes sense. So schedule Barney C, and I want to set it to head towards the player. I tried this in a previous video and it didn't function like I'd expect, so I'm going to try and work out what's going on here. If you take a look around the map, you're going to see these trigger entities spaced out. Whenever your player crosses into a trigger area, it can fire an output which is going to cause something to happen. In this case, what I'd like to do is set the trigger, the initial trigger that would have previously spawned enemies. I'm going to set it to schedule the Headcrab to try and reach the player. I'm going to change the target entity here to be the schedule for Barney, and I can just use a drop down to find it. So schedule Barney C is what it's actually going to trigger. I don't want the target input to be force spawn though, because force spawn doesn't make sense in this context. But here I also have a drop down I can use to find what function I want to trigger. So in this case, it's going to be start schedule. If you're just exploring what all these methods do, you get a nice description beside the drop down after you pick start schedule, which tells you what this method is going to do. And that's how I figured out that this was the one I wanted to trigger.
If everything is working how it should, as soon as I cross that boundary right there, our friend here should try and walk towards me. So I should be able to guide him all throughout this map. So let's see what happens. All right, buddy, this is your time to shine. All you've got to do is follow me. All right? Yeah, low expectations. I cross there. You come with me. Are you set? Okay, I bet you are. Let's go. Come on. Come on. That's a good head crab. Okay, let's go this way. Come on. Come on. Well, why aren't you coming over here? Well, I know it's far, but it's not that far. Just one claw in front of the other. So I think the problem is this trigger only triggers once. Once he arrives at his goal, I suspect he's going to stop. So here we go. This time I'm going to try and make sure he never gets to me. Yeah, it looks like as long as I keep on walking and he never achieves his goal of reaching the player, then he's going to keep on following me around. And I can do this with the squad mates as well. What I have to figure out is how to make sure that once they reach their goal... There you go. Good job, buddy. And I move away, they're going to reset that goal, or that trigger is going to reset. So that's going to take a little bit of fiddling around, but that's one more step to figuring out how to get a squad to follow you through an entire map.